I signed for them after the Euros, and after my first day's training, I was driving home. I was actually thinking, regretting it. What have I done? Like I walked into a circus.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Deal or no deal, Phil Egan? What's happening?
Deal. All good, yeah.
We almost have a deal, do we?
Yeah, because January, obviously, you know, we're still in the early days of January in terms of getting deals done. Obviously, when the deadline is approaching and more deals to get done, probably loan deals, it's hard to get. Really. People
are still fannying around now. It's still a bit of like, we kind of want that guy, but like, we're not willing to pay that money for him yet.
I don't know. It was always a thing for me in school and college. Like I only really came to life when the deadline got closer. You know, the assignment had to be in. So 2 weeks away, be grand, and then you do the all-nighter.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of clubs go with that approach.
Ashley Young has pulled an all-nighter. He's in Milan, we believe, for a medical today. Off-the-ball sources are telling us that $1.5 million in bonuses if all goes smoothly.
Yeah, he's 34, and people think this is madness from Antonio Conte, but you can see what Conte's thinking is there, that he plays three at the back. Ashley Young has played as a wing back. Louis van Gaal played him there quite a lot. He's obviously played in a back four as well. And
has he been brought in as cover, or are they looking to play him?
Well, I'd say initially he's been brought in as cover, but because they have injuries, he's going to get some game time. And if he does all right, then he keeps his place. And they're only 2 points behind Juventus, so they're still in with a chance of winning the title in Italy, which I'm sure that's an exciting prospect for Ashley Young to go into something like that. And do you know what? United fans will probably be happy to see the back of him as well, because he's 34 and he's been playing left back a bit. Obviously, Luke Shaw gets injured a lot, but the emergence of Brandon Williams makes it.
It's a bit easier to swallow.
The blow is a bit softer, but also as well, there's certain players like Ashley Young, and I know Chris Smalling's on loan at Roma now, and Phil Jones, that it's almost a reminder of how far United are off where they should be, where they still have players like this on their books.
Yesterday we brought our viewers the news, Phil, that Atletico want to sign Cavani now before he becomes a free agent in the summer. Spanish club have 20 million on the table, but PSG wanting 30 million, and according to the Manchester Evening News, that financial gap will not be bridged, and the player is set to be offered to United on a free transfer next summer. So is he going to improve? Is the 33-year-old going to improve Manchester United in a way that they need?
He'd definitely be an improvement in terms of what they have at the moment. Martial is playing in that number 9 role, and when he's good, he's very good, but he blows hot and cold. He's had a few injuries. Obviously, Greenwood is the real prospect there. He looks like the best finisher of them all, and having Cavani there, if you're getting him on a free, you know, if you only get a season or two out of him, there's no harm in that.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why, if Atletico are saying we'll give you 20, PSG are saying we want 30. Somebody else just say, right, 25, let's shake it.
So you even number. Oh no, but just hang on to him and then get nothing for him.
But he will be able to demand quite high wages, and I wonder, will that put United off, because they'll just think back to the Alexis Sanchez move and they gave him huge wages, and you'd almost forget that Alexis Sanchez once played for Manchester United, because I'm sure a lot of United fans want to forget that.
Staying with the Manchester Evening News, their sources also indicating that United want Atletico Madrid midfielder Marcos Llorente. So the paper saying that United focusing on players lacking game time at clubs at the major European leagues with large squads outside the Premier League to solve their midfield crisis. So the 24-year-old out of favour. Would he make an impact at Old Trafford, Phil?
Well, that's their real weakness, is in midfield, and it's all well and good signing players like Marcos Llorente or Bruno Fernandes, but I kind of look at the United structure at the moment and I'm wondering, are they signing players with an idea of how they want to play? So, you know, when Pep Guardiola signs a player, he's got an idea of the role this player will have.
Klopp
as well. So are they signing players? They need midfielders, but we still haven't really seen exactly what Solskjaer is trying to do in terms of an identity. Obviously, United's strongest assets at the moment are playing counter-attack football. And that's all well and good in certain games, but if United are going to get back to the top, they can't be a counter-attacking team.
But can't it be true that so it's a fair point, right? Because ideally you're bringing in the players that are playing to your system, that might take some time.
Yeah.
And during that time, you may need to get rid of the shit and bring in some players that aren't necessarily everything you want, but they're better than what you have.
Yeah, there's a progression, and you might stumble across the odd player that you sign, you think they could make the team better, and they turn out to be even better than you could have imagined. But I think my worry is that, does Solskjaer know exactly what he's trying to do? Is there a long-term plan in there where he signs a player who, say for example, Bruno Fernandes, who I'm sure is like the deal is going to get done soon enough, and we know that he's going to make a difference because he's a good player technically, he can score goals, he can pick a pass, and you look at the lack of goals from midfield that they have, where fairness to Fred, he doesn't lack confidence, he keeps shooting, he can be wild at times, but if you're signing players and you're just kind of putting them into a system that you haven't really determined what exactly you're trying to do. As I said, United's best performances that we've seen under Solskjaer have been counter-attacking performances. Yeah. And look, that will come. Like, you can't just all of a sudden be a team that dominates possession and plays teams off the park. I get that will come, but I'm just wondering how far they've thought ahead of this in terms of, is it a case that they're signing players for 2 or 3 years to get to, say, they need to become a consistent top 4 team before they can start thinking of challenging for the Premier League title again.
Emre Can, been linked with Manchester United. He says that he'll never join the club because of his Liverpool link. Would you be grievously outraged by the fact that Emre Can might become a Manchester United player? This seems ridiculous on his part. Yeah,
but I think it says a lot. I don't know, I could be wrong on this. Maybe Liverpool fans will disagree with me. But if Emre Can signed for Manchester United, would Liverpool fans honestly care? Because during his time at Liverpool, he was okay. You know, he scored a really good overhead against Watford. He kind of broke into the team under Brendan Rodgers when Rodgers experimented with 3 at the back, and Can was one of the 3, and he suited that system because he's a ball player. But he's quite slow, and I always felt watching him as Klopp was trying to develop how he wanted to play, and you know, he wanted a certain intensity and a certain speed to the way they attacked. Can kind of slowed it all down. A very good footballer, and maybe again, he's one of these players that he'd certainly make an improvement if you put him into the United team, because he is a good footballer, and you know, if United are trying to work on a style where they need to control games more, Emre Can would fit that profile. But it sounds like he doesn't want to go. But as I said, there is certain players that have done it. Michael Owen, and a lot of Liverpool fans will look at Michael Owen in a different way now because he has that.
Even after he said he never really wanted to go to Newcastle.
But he's still
was craving Liverpool to come and get me.
Yeah, and he scored a famous goal, winning goal in a Manchester derby, and Liverpool fans won't forget that. So they, you know, even though they can remember how good he was before he got his move to Real Madrid, there'll be an asterisk beside Michael Owen, I think, for a lot of Liverpool fans.
What are you thinking? 3-0, 3-1 Sunday?
I think it'll be tight because it's the nature of the fixture. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to think back to the last time Liverpool they won 3-1 there last season, but you know, it wasn't until Shaqiri came off the bench that things changed. Now, Liverpool were so much better in that game, but you think back to when Kenny Dalglish was in charge, Dirk Kuyt scored a hat-trick. That's probably the last time Liverpool had a really emphatic win.
But the gap has never. Has it ever been wider?
And you know, United will be up for this game, and we don't know if Rashford's going to be fit or not. If Rashford isn't fit, then you just play Daniel James on the left, and it still gives Liverpool the same problem down the right, where Trent Alexander-Arnold obviously wants to go forward, but in the back of his mind, he'd be thinking, I've got to watch out. I've got a pacey winger that I'm going to have to keep an eye on. But I think Liverpool will win, but I don't think it'll be.
It's not going to be. It's not a 1-goal win, is it?
No. Do you know what?
2-0, 3-0, 3-1.
It could be a 2-goal win, but because it's Manchester United, even if Liverpool were 2-0 up or they were 1-0 up, and Liverpool are obviously keeping a lot of clean sheets now, there'd still be a bit of tension there because Liverpool have only obviously dropped 2 points all season. It was against United, and Liverpool would hate that it would be United to end that 51-game unbeaten run in the league at Anfield. They would. I think most people have accepted that Liverpool are going to probably go on and win the league now, but they still wouldn't want.
Be a bad taste.
Yeah, I mean, look, Liverpool fans won't care if they win the league at the end of the season. They won't care, but it would just probably leave a bit of a sour taste on Sunday if it was United that ended the run. And
wouldn't be great for the greatest coach in world sport at the minute, Philip,
who hasn't got the best of records against United, but you can see that certainly improving. And the difference this time for an Anfield game, no Jose Mourinho. I was at the first one. They built it up as Red Monday was an awful game, 0-0 draw. Following season 0-0, last season 3-1, and that was the end of Mourinho. So Solskjaer won't go as ultra defensive as that. They'll definitely try and get men behind the ball, but I think Liverpool have shown enough this season.
I'm going 3-1. What are you thinking?
Well, it was 3-1 last season, so I don't think maybe 2-1.
More the same, Phil. Go out of that. Thanks a million.
Thank you.